Can you believe with this country we're actually halfway done? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is Week in Country number 97 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight we're up to the nation of Liberia. Liberia, located in West Africa, bordered by Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Cote d'Ivoire, has a fascinating history which of course influences its culinary tradition. Now, there were initially indigenous people living in this area. When the Europeans first arrived, they decided to call it the Pepper Coast or the Grain Coast based on what they would trade there. And then in the early 1800s, a group of Americans decided this would be a good homeland to resettle freed African people who felt they didn't have a future in the United States, and hence it became the Republic of Liberia. Liberia is the longest existing republic in the continent of Africa, and it even survived the scramble for Africa in the 1800s. Now, because of this history, the food is a fascinating combination of traditional dishes you would find throughout West Africa, mixed in with some traditions that came back from the United States that predominantly involve things like baking. Now, in trying to find a dish for Liberia, that involved trying to look through a lot of different things, but for that we have to get into what we did last time. So let's take a look and see how things went when we tried it then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I was kind of stumped on what to do because of this odd history, and the other dish I found would have been delicious, except for I knew I would not be able to find the one particular ingredient I needed. Ergo, I wound up doing this one particular dish. Now, this dish is probably the most common dish throughout all of West Africa, and it probably originated in either Senegal or Nigeria. People argue about it, but that dish is jollof rice, and we did or doing tonight a Liberian version of that, and hopefully it's gonna go well. Now, last time it was super delicious. I really enjoyed it, so looking forward to having that one again. So let's take a look and see what goes into tonight's dish. For our Liberian jollof rice, we'll need 1 large boneless chicken breast cut into 1-inch pieces, 1 pound of stew beef cubes cut into 1-inch pieces, a half a pound of thick sliced bacon cut into 1-inch pieces, all-purpose flour for coating, 1 onion diced, 1 green pepper diced, 1 yellow pepper diced, half a pound of cabbage shredded, 1 large tomato diced, 3 ounces of tomato paste, 2 chicken bouillon cubes, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground or crushed red pepper, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 cup of long grain white rice, half a cup of canola oil, and 6 cups of water. Well, as you can see, that's a megaton of prep work, but hopefully it's going to be all worth it. The cook is pretty straightforward, so let's get cooking. Pour the oil into a pan and heat to medium-high. Sprinkle the chicken with salt and pepper. Coat the chicken with flour. Sprinkle the beef with salt and pepper. Coat the beef with flour. And then, working in small batches, cook the chicken, and then the beef, and then remove and drain on a plate with paper towels. Pour out any remaining oil and clean the pan with a paper towel. Using the same pan, fry the bacon. Drain the bacon on a paper towel-lined plate. Now, since this wasn't going to fit in the original pan, we transferred the bacon fat to a larger saucepan and continued. Then, to the saucepan, add the onions, tomato, green pepper, and yellow pepper, and saute for 5 minutes or until the vegetables soften. Return the browned chicken to the pan. Return the browned beef to the pan. Return the bacon to the pan. And then add tomato paste, bouillon cubes, curry powder, thyme, ground ginger, ground or crushed red pepper, and black pepper. Add the rice and the water. Stir and heat to boiling. Add the cabbage and reduce the heat to a simmer. Simmer uncovered, stirring often, for 25 minutes. Add more water if the liquid is absorbed before the rice is cooked. Serve in stew bowls. Wipe plates and serve. How did that all turn out? Well, first off, I gotta say, I am so happy to be back in West Africa. We haven't been here for many, many months since back in the letter G, and it was delicious. It was really nice and spicy. We really needed that after this long time off. It had that lovely hearty combination of the beef, which was nice and tender, the chicken, the bacon, all the peppers and onions, as well as all that great combination of spices. I really loved it. It was super delicious, and I bet it's going to be even better when I have it for leftovers the next night and probably the night after that because there's so much of it. But I'm going to give the Liberian Jollof rice 4 out of 5 globes, a really delicious dish. It reaches a 5 with the leftovers, I bet. So that does it for Liberia. Next week, we're taking a little time off. We will be doing a review of the 2nd year of the Global Cooking Adventure, and we'll be back here again with a new country in 2 weeks when we stick with Africa, go to North Africa to have the food of Libya. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to see our streams live when they happen every Tuesday night, be sure to follow us on Periscope or Facebook Live. Like and subscribe to be advised when these videos are posted. Remember, links to the original recipes can always be found in the About section. And if you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food that we're cooking, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy eating!